Hello. Shows the different kind of people and experiences you can have when looking for your Christian message. Here's the reading. So many people wanted to see Jesus and hear what he had to say, that he had to sit in a boat and teach the people standing on the shore. He told them many things through parables, which is a way of telling something through a story. Listen, Jesus said. A farmer went out to sow his seeds. As he scattered them, some of the seeds fell on the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seeds fell onto the rocky ground. At first they grew quickly, but when the sun came out, they got all burnt up because they had no roots in the shallow soil. Other seeds fell amongst thorns, which grew up around them and choked them. Other seed fell on good soil, and they grew into 30, 60, and 100 times more wheat. Listen, Jesus said again, if you've got ears to hear, listen. There's ears to hear, listen. Jesus explained the parable of the sower to the crowd. What did I mean by the seed on the path being eaten up, he said. Well, that's like when the good things that God has planted in our hearts get snatched away by the devil. And the seed on the rocky path? Well, that's like when someone hears God's word and loves it and is full of joy, but their enthusiasm expires as soon as trouble comes their way. And the seed amongst thorns? Well, that's when someone hears God's word, but worry and greed take over. But the seed planted in good soil. The seed in the good soil is like the person who hears God's word, loves it, and lives it. So it produces 30, 60, and 100 times more goodness in their lives.
Hello and welcome. Shall we start with a prayer? God of our story, thank you for your story at work throughout history and in our lives today. Thank you for your gift of stories that inspire us and challenge us, entertain us and teach us, comfort us and stretch us. Amen. Today we listen to the story called The Parable of the Sower. And for the first activity, I thought we would make a book to explain the parable. Now, what you'll need for this are about 3 or 4 sheets of A4, which you just bend in the middle, right? Make a crease there to make a booklet. And then on the front, I have the title, The Parable of the Sower, with some seeds. And then inside, I've just taken 4 or 5 different parts of the story to illustrate. So you can make a collage, or you can draw, or you can paint, anything you'd like to do. You don't even have to have the writing. So for the first part of the story, I have some of the seed fell on the path and was eaten by the birds. So this is the farmer sowing the seed, first on the path, not a very good idea. The next, some of the seed fell on rocks and the sun burned them all up. So still the seed didn't grow. Now the next part we have, some of the seed fell onto weeds. Now these seed did actually grow, but what happened was the seeds were choked by the weeds. And then lastly, some of the seed fell on good soil and grew into lovely healthy plants. Of course, this is a parable that Jesus told to explain how some people respond to him. Some of the words Jesus spoke, well, they aren't received very well. And so the people who don't receive God's words or Jesus' words don't grow to love Jesus, just like the seeds didn't grow. But others, like the seeds that were sown on the healthy soil, they respond to the message of Jesus. And those people become followers of Jesus. And that message is as true today as ever. And for the second activity, we're going to tell the story in a different way. In the Roots resource book, now this is the book that we follow, and don't forget, even if you haven't got a book, it doesn't matter at all, because on the Roots website, there are lots of things you can download for free. So in the resource book, they call this a story catcher. There we go. You'll recognise this. But I can remember it as a chatterbox. Lots of you have made one of these. Now then, just to refresh your memory. First of all, you need a square of paper. It's very important that it's a square. And then fold your square of paper into quarters. So to do that, crease it in half and then fold it in half again to make your quarters, right? And then along the creases, what you do then is you fold in each of the 4 corners. So I'll try and do this as quickly as I can. Fold in the 4 quarters, and then you will end up with a smaller square. There we go. And then turn it over and fold in the corners again. And then what you have now is, there we go. There are your folded triangles. And then on the other side, you have 4 squares. Okay. Now, on each of the triangles, you need to write the numbers 1 to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there we go. You still have your squares one side, and on the other side you have your triangles. Now, you open up the triangles, lift the flaps, and write the story in 8 parts underneath. Anything you've learned from today's story, okay? So underneath, on the reverse side of the triangles, you write a bit of the story. Then, on the squares, just get some colours and colour in each square. Now, I'll go back to the one that I made earlier in true Blue Peter style. Now, you may ask, how does this work? Well, you put your finger and your thumb under each side, and this is how it goes. Do you remember? Okay. Now, what you do is you pal up with someone and you ask them to choose a colour. So let's say your partner has chosen blue, B-L-U-E. Then you ask them to choose a number. Oh, how about 5? We'll choose 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you ask them to choose a number again. We'll choose 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last time. You ask them to choose the last number. Oh, let's have number 7. So you unfold number 7, right? And this is what I've written on the other side. The parable of the sower is about how we respond to God. Okay. Now, again, on the Roots website, they have suggestions of what you write on the other side of the triangles, but you can do your own story in your own words if you would prefer. Okay. Well, that's it for today. Until next week, hwyl fawr. The birthday hat is on, and the birthday glasses actually, and that can only mean one thing: a birthday announcement. Happy birthday for a very special girl. It's Menna's birthday on the 16th of this month. Of course, Menna is the one who keeps me in order and organises me in Sunday school by helping out with the Mighty Oaks. She's a very knowledgeable person. She loves films and she loves reading. Happy birthday, Menna. We hope you have a fantastic day.
Happy birthday to you. God loves you, it's true. He's crazy about you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
The Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
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 Little Acorn Prayer. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, from my lobes of my ears to my end of my nose, to my back to the front, to my wiggly fingers, God loves me.